Welcome back to MMAOddsBreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. Here you got Jeff Aronson today from Titan FC. We're not going to talk to him about the fights. If you want to see or have a breakdown of him, watch his interview with James Lynch over on The Parting Shot, also on MMAOddsBreaker. I want to get more into the business side of it. It seems like that the UFC with Fight Pass has created a new venue for airing of all the. I hate to use this term minor leagues. I don't think you guys are minor leagues. But the UFC is a Super Bowl, and the rest of us are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've given a venue though for everybody to be seen. But you guys were kind of in a weird position. You could have been on Access TV or stayed with Access TV at the time. You could have switched over to NBC. You could have switched over to CBS. But you guys chose Fight Pass over everybody else. I know there's a lot of parts of the deal you can't talk about, like as far as definite numbers, whatever. But could you give us like an idea of what's the percentage difference of being on, say, Access versus Fight Pass as far as increase in price and availability
Sure.
of getting a hold of sponsors? Because now you've got some great sponsors that are tied into you for a very long time.
Sure. Yeah, I think, it's a great question. The truth is, like you said, the TV world is where I come from. I have a very large background in television marketing, commercials. I was buying 75, $80 million a year in TV commercials through my other business endeavors before I started Alchemist Management and then went on to Titan. So I had very strong relationships with all the networks to begin with. And like you said, Titan was on Access. When I purchased the company, I broke that deal. I bought it into another company. Then we moved it to CBS. We did the deal with CBS right away. And then the Fight Pass deal started percolating a few months ago. As you know, Lex has an extremely strong relationship with Dana and Lorenzo, and so be it. One thing started leading to another. And the thing that was most intriguing to me was, being able to broadcast in 170 different countries at one time, to be able to pull talent from all these different areas and actually seeing a benefit from it using the Fight Pass platform. And UFC has been, exceptionally giving in terms of their PR machine, in terms of behind the scenes best practices, a lot of intangibles that you can't put a price tag on. So if history teaches us anything, it's, you don't go to the definition of insanity by trying to do the same thing over and over again and, coming up with the same solution. No one wants to fight the 800-pound gorilla. And from the day I started Titan, or I purchased Titan, I said, we're going to do things a lot different. We are going to offer a Zuffa out contract for any fighter that Zuffa comes calling on. We are going to bonus the fighters for going for the submission or a knockout. We are going to create that mantra of fans, fighters first, because, let's face it, a lot of the regional promotions and local promotions, they really treat these guys like crap. I don't have to tell you, and our goal was to create a situation where fighters wanted to come to Titan. They wanted to fight for the organization, and doing the deal with Fight Pass just kind of closed that circle completely. Because now every time the guys fight, I feel like they're truly on audition on the world's biggest stage. So for us, it was a no-brainer, and it wasn't just a monetary situation for me. Luckily, that wasn't the driving force. I've always done the right thing because I think it's the right thing to do, and I've always wanted to better the sport. This was just one outlet that really helped enable me to do what I needed to do.
You're in a unique position where most promoters don't understand the actual value of TV commercial. They don't, and you're basically selling bullshit. Because let's admit it, a commercial is air. It's just airtime, and you're banking on, okay, I'm on the UFC channel, and we're in 176 countries.
Yeah.
And that means we can have 50 million people watching you at this particular time, either now or replay or in Fight Pass archive. So going to somebody and going, look, this is what the actual value of this is because I've done this already for so long.
Right.
Is it hard to explain to like Headblade or the Throne or somebody going, hey, look, man, this is legit. Like this is real international stuff. Like you
Right.
gotta understand, this is not your normal 2,000 on the canvas,
Sure.
kind of deal. This is a huge
No,
deal.
no.
Have you had a problem trying to explain it to some of these owners of your sponsoring companies?
Sure. No, I think that I've been in that world for so long that for me it's a pretty easy explanation and sell. I hate to use the word sell, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty easy explanation for me. And the other thing to take it a step forward from what you just said, we also, which I don't think I've let public before, so I'll let you know, we also have a deal with them where we have a partnership in all international TV distribution. So we're also, so it's not just the Fight Pass forum, it's also national and international TV distribution, which is actually starting within the next show or two.
Wow, that's huge. And for the folks at home that don't understand kind of how that works, if you're in America, you don't really get it. There's a different fee for international
Yes.
sales rights. An easy way to explain it: Jean-Claude Van Damme is very big overseas still. He does about
Correct.
3 or 4 movies a year. He gets $2 million per movie, guaranteed rate. That's what it is. But it's also guaranteed he can do at least double that in distribution rate. So you make your money
Correct.
back on him. So for something
Correct.
like for Titan to have that kind of deal, I'm thinking a broader scale. But having that kind of deal with the UFC is huge because we all know, other than New York and America, they have forced, dragged, kicked indoors, broken windows, stole guys' ideas to make UFC and MMA as a whole legal in the entire country and in
Sure.
Canada. Now, like I said, obviously missing New York. They're trying to do it now with Paris in France because France is still illegal, and a couple other countries in Europe it's illegal. That's why Germany, in Germany, out of Germany, in Germany, out of Germany, because they keep changing their mind whether or not it's legal.
Right.
But
Sure.
the UFC is spearheading this, so you're like on the forefront of the minor leagues getting an international pay rate.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a world I grew up in. So for me, that was an essential part of doing this. So it's a multi-level deal, our deal. That's what I've said in numerous interviews, and I'm sure you've heard, where I say there's a lot more to this deal than just meets the eye, and there's a lot more things that are coming out over the next few months that you'll start to hear, such as, like there are reasons why I'm signing fighters in certain areas of the world. And that you see on the card. There are reasons for there are methods to my madness. So, I run this like a business. I've been, the CEO of many multi-$100 million companies. And to me, I'm in a beautiful position in the marketplace, and I am running this perfectly nobody's perfect, but as good as I can, to keep that going and keep the Titan name blowing up the way it has over the past year and a half. Because let's face it, it went from basic obscurity almost into now you talk about top promotions and Titan is in that conversation.
Well, when Titan was on Access, before his Access called HDNet, I commentated for Titan in Kansas City. And it was a minor league. That's just what it was because it was on the channel that's on, the local talent they're bringing in. That's just how it worked. Then they didn't do any shows for a long time. And you picked them up, and all of a sudden they're on CBS, and they're then now you're on Fight Pass.
Right.
Was there ever talk at CBS for international distribution? Was there ever talk for anything like this structured deal that you have with Fight Pass and the UFC? Was there any talk like that when you were on CBS?
Yeah, there was. Put it this way, they were not happy to see me go.
Let's be honest, Jeff. They were pissed off. They were really upset that you guys were taking off because it was a huge piece of the market share they're trying to get a hold of, and you guys were spearheading it. And they were trying to gain some bits from the UFC as far as being on another network, and they were like the guy we're trying to do it with is now leaving to go to them.
Right. And it's interesting because, they were good partners. You know, it wasn't like they were bad partners. They were good partners. At the end of the day, we just weren't good partners for each other, you know, and you know, sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't do. And this was an opportunity to do a deal with guys that, in my opinion, you know, my humble opinion, if it wasn't for the Fertittas, if it wasn't for Dana, I don't know that MMA would be a sport right now. I really don't. I don't know. And if I'm going to bet on anyone in the world, you know, and I know what I've done, I'm going to bet on myself every day of the week. But if I'm going to jump into bed with somebody in an industry with a proven track record, it's going to be Dana and the Fertittas, you know. And I think that they've proven time and time again, their PR machine, once it's revved up and they're going, man, those are the hardest working guys in the industry. So they expect no less from us. And we're trying to do it on every show. And, you know, the first show we did within the first week, which is an incredible statement, within the first week, 90% or over 90% of all Fight Pass subscribers either watch part or all of the Titan event.
Well, I'll tell you this: there's so much content now on Fight Pass. I actually, you know, everybody knows I'm a when it comes to paying money out for anything, I am the last guy. Like, I can't reach my wallet when it's time to pay the tab at the bar. Like, I'm just like, I'm that guy. And I have Fight Pass. I own Fight Pass. I buy Fight Pass every month now because the only way for me to see MMA content, I have civil choices, okay, but they're very minute. We talked about Access TV earlier. It's a very small network. It's on a very small series of channels. I'm in the state of Hawaii now. I only have Dish or DirecTV. I can get that network on, but they're so expensive. And I'm in an apartment building. I can't have either one because I can't have a satellite hanging out Mile and I. So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can't get access. Right? I don't have it. CBS and NBC, they throw what? You're talking maybe one fight a month, maybe like one promotion a month. And so like I'm like, okay. Sometimes it's like, it seems like sometimes it's 10 weeks in between events, you know, on those two networks.
Yeah, sure.
Now I go to Fight Pass. It's like, okay, I got to tell my girlfriend Jill, sorry, I'm locked up Saturday. She's like, why? Because obviously we're 3 hours behind West Coast, so things here start like, you know, Thursday NFL is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, you know, everyone's breaking for siesta to watch the NFL. You know, I got to start watching stuff at like 2 in the afternoon, and I could legitimately be on for 24 hours watching because there's so many promotions now, and then it goes right into the prelims for a UFC card, and then I switch over and start watching Fox, you know, which now becomes another issue because they're on the Fox 1 stations.
Well, and what's cool with our deal is as well, you know, they also push the Titan events on the UFC events that are right before Titan. So, you know, we get that double push. And like the first Titan show we did, they had UFC Stockholm in the morning, and then Titan was at night. You know, that was done on purpose as well, you know. So, and I'll tell you who's doing a great job too is Shannon over in Invicta. I mean, she's doing a fantastic job, you know. And I think we have a bunch of like-minded people involved and really shooting for common goals.
Well, I want to ask you something about that. Now you raise it. It seems like the UFC, you conform or you get kicked out. And that's kind of the mentality of the UFC. That if you don't conform with kind of their mindset, their outlook, their goal planning, that you're a barnacle on the ship. So like, screw it, we're just going to cut you off when the contract's over. Is it more that's like-minded people with you know, that are all on Fight Pass and all working together, or is it more that everybody understands if you want to become rich in MMA, you either conform to the UFC style of thought process and workings, or you end up always being in a minor league, because now it's minor league on Fight Pass and minor league on something else. You know? So
I'm always getting in trouble for being the guy that will tell everything, because, you know, I just believe that, you know what, I work too hard and too long to bullshit anybody, you know. So to me, it is what it is. Being on the Fight Pass platform, UFC has been so supportive and giving us autonomy. They'll make notes, they'll give us ideas like best practices or things like that, but, you know, we couldn't have received more love. Now, being a manager through Alchemist and then having to deal with UFC on that side, totally different game. You're absolutely right. Conform or get out. But they've been phenomenal. And you know what? At the end of the day, the truth is anybody can say what they want. There's nothing that they've ever told us, even on the management side, when they've given their word about doing it, that they haven't followed through on. That's the truth.
Yeah, and like I've always said too, from a management standpoint, fighter standpoint, the fighters don't get what we deserve. Each of us deserve at least $1 million every time we step inside that cage. Like our life's on the line, our family's lives are on the line because we're the bread earners. We deserve $1 million. It's not, but you don't get what you're worth. You get what you negotiate. The negotiation process is a long, tedious, mathematical, process.
Yeah.
Can he sell seats? Can they, it's like Paige Van Zandt and Joanne Calderwood are gonna UFC Fight Night 80 just made the announcement they're gonna headline it. You're like, she's 21 years old. How is she headlining an event? Well, because she's hot and she wins and she sells stuff, and that's just the reality of it.
I mean, to me, the difference is, I'm controlled in everything I do, so I don't take anything personally. I don't have that gut reaction of, I might not get what I want the first time, so fuck you. I'm not going to talk to you again. And there has to be, just like any other business, it's a business, and you have to be willing to negotiate. You can't take things personal, and you've got to work your way through it. And if you can do that and keep that type of mentality, then you can do an incredible job for yourself, for your clients, for your promotion. You just need to know how to be a true businessman.
You're also hugely competitive. And I've heard this from Lex, and I've heard it from other people. Neema's told me too that you guys are like hugely competitive. So, do you find yourself competing for sponsors now that are trying to come to the event? Like they're on the fence. Oh, we might go with this promotion that's also on Fight Pass. We could go with you. Do you find yourself like, okay, I'm gonna get these guys? Do you find yourself waking up and going, okay, now I got to put the hammer down and go.
100%.
Okay.
100%. I won't do it by giving property away. I will not. I'll do it by stating facts, by showing exactly what we can do versus XYZ promotion. I'm so competitive that Lex and I work out in the gym together 5 days a week. And if I can't crush him in the gym that day, I'm fuming. So I mean, it goes that far. And it's funny that you've heard that because it's absolutely true. And it's just my nature. But now at this stage, it's controlled aggression, where before maybe it was a little more recluse.
Do you find yourself sometimes, I've heard it with other managers, that they sometimes get so frustrated with a promotion that they'll dump everything off the table and go back to like, okay, we're just not going to re-sign them. We'll wait. And I'm talking not from management side. I'm talking from the promotion side right now, because I know management side happens all the time. From a promotional side, you'll go, okay, screw it then. We're just going to wait. We're going to wait 2 more, and we'll come back and visit again in 2 more events, and we're just going to have to sit on it.
Absolutely.
Is that frustrating for you? Going like, this is like $50,000 coming in. This could pay for my entire main event, and I'm gonna say no right now. Like, that doesn't put a little itch in your back?
You know what? I will never shortchange the promotion. I will never shortchange myself. And it's sometimes you have to have a moral compass of what you're willing to accept and what you're not. And you have to hold true to your convictions. And you've got to, at the end of the day, say, look, I know what my value and my worth is. If I'm not going to get that, I'm not going to do the deal. That's
so tough, especially for younger, frustrated promoters who are like, oh, I'm going to be, we're going to be,
I've been playing chicken for, 30 years almost, 25 years. So I'm used to playing that game. So
at the end of the day, hit by the car?
What?
How many times have you been hit by the car playing chicken? You're like, oh, this guy's going to turn. And all of a sudden he runs you over.
I've lost a couple legs.
Okay. All right. It's fair enough. It happens. Sometimes.
But you know what? You dust yourself off. You get up and you go forward, man.
It's I am a conspiracy theorist. Like I'm huge in this. This is what my thing is. Like, it's just like between that and studying religions throughout the world. Like, that's my hobby. I love it. So when they start Fight Pass, I go, oh, this is just for Joe Silva. And everyone's like, what do you mean? I go, so he doesn't have to have people ship him, broken down DVDs and pirate some stupid feed from, from.
I mean, I'll tell you, my matchmakers, Scott Cupperth, Joe Wooster, Lex, who you know extremely well as my COO, and the whole team that I've put around me, is, A+ team. Eric Talent, used to be a producer director with UFC. From every aspect of it, and I've spent to bring these people in because I wanted the best team around for what we do, because I truly feel that we become the de facto place for the top talent, up and comers, and vets looking to come back. Because who better to sign with than Titan, if you think about it? We have the UFC relationship. We're on Fight Pass. Every fight is an audition. We treat the fighters incredibly well. There's everything you would want as a professional athlete, and as a professional athlete, you want to be treated like a professional athlete, not a piece of meat. And on the management side, I used to run into that all the time with local promotions, to the point where I got so frustrated that I bought Titan so that I could do it my way.
Especially in Florida, like the promotions in Florida are I don't even know what the mentality is down there, because it's just, I just look at it and go, like, really? Like, you're really going to pay that amount of money for this guy, and he's got to sell 1,000 tickets, otherwise he gets paid nothing. You're like, are you crazy?
That's
like,
what I mean. I don't have one guy like that on my roster. We don't do that.
All right, last question before I lay you out of here, Jeff. Man, this has been so interesting, and I'm really, really glad that Brian got this interview set up, because I knew you were on the part with James Lynch. I knew you were on his podcast earlier. Also, MMAOddsBreaker. I was like, oh, man, what am I going to ask him? And I was like, I'm going to ask him about the business, because Alchemist is a business-minded kind of management team, so he's got to be business-minded too. So, with that being said, how detrimental is it to the company when you build a guy up from, like, he comes to you at like 3-0, you build him up to 9-0, he's your champ, he has one title defense, now he's 11-0, and the UFC comes calling and goes, okay, he's coming to us, and you're like, I just built this guy up. All the marketing, all the PR. Yes, part of it is UFC because they're helping on Fight Pass, but really, it's you guys help Titan Fighting Championships, helping this guy build up, and now he's gone.
To me, that is the best part of my job. No bullshit, because I get more credit for doing that and then allowing him to go and achieve the next level of his dreams. And when he goes in as Titan champion. They're showing Titan footage. It's not like they say, oh, from another promotion. It's not. The credit is given. And, it's something from day one that my goal was to help these kids. Like you talk to 99.9% of kids training in an MMA gym today. You ask them, what do you want to do when your career gets going? I want to be UFC champion. There's no denying it. And if I can help facilitate them, I'm not saying that I'm going to give 20 champions. I don't know. None of us know. The difference is so minute between a champion and a number 1, number 2, number 3. I mean, it's so close at that high level. But I know that I am producing top talent. Like, these guys are going to be serious threats in the future. And guys get an opportunity to watch them now, make that emotional connection to them, and then they're in the big show. They already know who they are. To me, that's awesome.
That's great, Jeff, man. I love your attitude. I love how you're approaching the fight game, and it really is, and I can't say it enough. There's a few promoters that I actually like, and that I actually pay attention to because of how they treat their fighters. And now you guys are one of them. But we've never talked before. This is full disclosure to folks at home. We've never talked before. We've never hung out. We've never had drinks together. This is the first cold shot that we turned on Skype and started talking. And it's refreshing to have, and I like I said, I apologize for having to keep saying this, but having a second tier or minor league, with the UFC being the top tier and the only one in the top tier at this point, that actually understands how to treat fighters. And it's great to see that Titan Fighting Champ is now another venue for guys to go to that have a shot. They can get released and go to UFC if need be, but also are going to get treated right if they never get the call up. Because the reality of it is, in our game, some guys just aren't going to get the call up.
Yeah, and especially in a promotion like Titan, you're not getting a fluff fight. I mean, you're going in there and we're matching the toughest guys against the toughest guys. And may the toughest guy win. May the best guy win. And you know what? If the other guy isn't good enough, nobody should baby him to the point of padding a record to get him into UFC and go 3 and out. It makes no sense to me.
That doesn't help anybody. I mean, that's just retarded. That doesn't help anybody, you know. Like you're not giving some guy a break. You're not giving Pat Healy a break. You're like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. it's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
it's kind of shitty, Jeff. It's kind of shitty. Like you're not helping the bets out. The bets are still got to fight. Like it's just the way it goes. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a great fight, guys. If you have Fight Pass, you got to watch it tomorrow night. If you don't have it, get it. It's worth the whatever it is, $9.95 a month. You've got to get it. There's so much stuff on there now, especially with Titan now fighting. And you guys are throwing how many fights in 2015? How many events will you have total?
There'll be one more event after this in 15, and then there'll be 10 in 16.
Wow, good calendar. That's a good schedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much,
We're busy,
Jeff.
Frank. We're busy.
Yeah, no kidding, right? When you need help, give a brother a call. I'm always around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me on.
Always. Love it so much. And thanks for always making sure you guys are available to me for interviews. It's tough to get some guys on, but you guys always make sure I get yours on relatively easily.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Be good.